Hi, welcome to my lounge. I thought I'd make a quick movie just before I take the dog out and the cat. We go, dog and cat, for a walk daily. Oh dear, I said that terrible word, walk. In this house we have to spell it, W-A-L-K, and the dog's head spun round, and now I've had it. It'll be here worrying me to go out. But I thought I'd make a very quick video to tell you why I vape. The reason why I vape is lost because I put up a video in September to tell you about the delight I have in the fact that I'm vaping and not smoking. And that is way down the list of videos. So I thought I'd just remind me and you of why I vape. Well, I smoked for 50 years. In August 2011, I ordered what I saw seemed to be new technology, an electronic cigarette called a V3 from Jack Vapor, who is quite near me here in Edinburgh. Well, I'm not in Edinburgh, but I'm in the country in northwest England, and I ordered a starter pack. And I did that because I was going somewhere for a few days to a place where I knew I wouldn't be able to smoke. What a terrifying thought for a smoker. So I had my starter pack, and I thought that will be my escape if I'm trapped, really trapped, and I can't have a cigarette. Well, I filled everything up and according to all the instructions, and I took my first puff of an electronic cigarette, a V3, and it was just super. It satisfied me very well, and I was able to do that every time I wanted a cigarette but couldn't actually have one. Well, over the while, I found that I preferred vaping to smoking. So it's been a very big surprise and delight to me that I found something that I liked as much as smoking. I loved every single cigarette I ever smoked. It was my delight, and it was my best friend in my life, smoking. But I have found another friend, and that's vaping. I'm a very good ambassador because when I go out, because I live in the country, not many people have heard of electronic cigarettes. Yesterday I went to an event in Carlisle, and I took with me my spare electronic cigarette, and the flavour in it is straight tobacco. I asked in the restaurant whether I was allowed to vape, and they were quite pleased I could vape, and so several people at my table said, "What's that? What's that?" I showed them an electronic cigarette. We spoke about it. They tried it out, and one of the girls didn't even go out for a cigarette all through the meal. She puffed on my sample. So I'm a very good advert. She asked me all the details, so I wrote them on the back of the menu. But I am going to do that on my computer so I don't have to, at the last minute, write details sloppily in pencil. I realize that I've learnt a lot since August. I've tried all sorts of flavours, and although I use the electronic cigarette when I go out, mostly I use the pass-through. And a pass-through is connected to a plug on the wall or to your computer, and you put the cartomizer on the end of the pass-through, just as you would connect it to the battery of your electronic cigarette, and you vape from the electricity in the wall or coming from your computer. And seeing I do loads of work on computer, I vape mostly through my pass-through. I have some favorite e-juices. which I've now tried from Jack Vapor, from Cloud9 Vaping, and from N-Juice. So I have my favorites, and I swap during the day to different flavors, and then I use one of my flavors in my after dinner vape, and they're lovely. So vaping has become a hobby. I am still surprised and delighted that I am vaping and not smoking, and it's taken away the fear that if I get sick and I'm not a youngster anymore and they cart me off to hospital, I'll take my electronic cigarette with me because I will vape under the blankets. I'm very good at stealth vaping. Let me show you what it is. Did you see any vapor? You didn't see any vapor, but I had the throat hit and the satisfaction of vaping. And the secret is to double inhale and be careful just to keep these little holes closed so that the vapor doesn't come out of the bottom of the cartomizer. There's no vapor on exhalation, and you don't make any vapor, and so you could do vaping anywhere. My vaping has become a hobby. My smoking is completely left me, and I vape. And you know, sometimes when I see the new legislation coming out of you can't smoke here and you can't smoke there, I'm very glad I vape now, because that awful fear that I'll be stuck in a place that I can't have a cigarette has completely left me. Even if they cart me off to hospital, I'll take my e-cig with me and I'll have a stealth vape under the blankets. Stealth vaping I'm very good at. I make these movies which are quite accidental, but they seem to be reasonably popular, so I'm going on making them to spread my delight and joy about vaping. I think it's a really fun thing to do, and it's a good thing to try as an alternative to smoking. Thanks for vaping with me.